Hi guys, so in today's video I am going to show you how to make Hagrid's tiny fake cakes, and this was a lot of fun to do and it was really easy, easier than I expected. So yeah, for the inside I used styrofoam. I used this piece. We had this lying around, I'm not sure what came in it, but there are a few edges that don't have anything on them, so I was able to cut the circles out of them. You can buy styrofoam sheets at a hardware store. They sell really big sheets and I think they're about 2 centimeters. So you can go and buy those. You can also go to cake supply stores. They sell faux cakes. Unfortunately, in the area where I live, I wasn't able to get a tiny one like this. You do get a lot of bigger ones. But for my purposes and for my displays, I would prefer a tinier one. So yeah, personal preference. So for the shape, I used last week's awesome display idea. This size was the perfect size for what I wanted. So yeah, you can use basically anything to get the size. Then to cut it, I used a very sharp anti-cutter. You can use a knife, but it is gonna be a total mess. I think with this one, because the blade is so thin and it is super sharp, it really cuts nicely. I would also suggest in between cuts just to clean up, that way the staticness is not as much and the mess isn't as big. So yeah. Then to cut it on, I have one of these cutting mats. They are fairly expensive, but I've had this one for a really long time, so it is an investment to make. They work really well for cutting, obviously cutting anything on it, but I also do small projects on this, especially if you don't want your desk to get dirty or whatever. It's super easy to wash these, so yeah. Then for the icing, I used this Power Skim Super Fine. This is a type of polyfiller, and there's no specific reason why I chose this. We had this lying around, so I thought, let me use it and see if it works. So yeah, you can use this or you can use polyfiller, but just make sure that it's the super fine one. This is not very expensive. This one was 60 rand. Which is very big, so if you plan on making loads of cakes, then get a bigger one, but I know you get really small ones too. And then for the color, I used as the main pink, I used Fucia. This is from Heritage. I had this paint already, so yeah. It is a bit too pink, so I used a tiny bit of True Red and a tiny bit of honeysuckle. So yeah, you can just measure it with your eye and see which pink and which green is the perfect one for you. I've seen loads of these cakes and everybody chooses their own type of color, so yeah. For the green, I used a emerald and lamp black. They're both from Dala. When you're using black, always be very careful, only put small amounts in, because it can make your color super black or super dark really quickly. And if you mix black with other colors, it can change the color completely. So for example, with the pink, it'll turn that purple. So always be very careful with black. For those of you who like DIY as much as I do, I bought this set on Takealot. It was 245 rand, and you get 12 colors. I can show you there. 12 colors, and they are 30 milliliter tubes. So yeah, I have a couple of projects that I'm planning for the near future, and what's great about these, because you get all the main colors, you can really mix these to basically any color that you want, which is great. Then for the mixing, I have this weird spoon thing. We've had this for a really long time. I don't know where we bought this, but these work really well. If you don't have something like this, then you can use a knife. Just be careful with a knife as it makes little serrated edges. So try to get something that is completely smooth. Luckily with these cakes, they are not supposed to be perfect. So the less perfect they are, the better. So it's a bonus. You also get really cool icing tools that you can use for normal icing sugar. So you can do that too if you want to. And then lastly, you will need a glue gun. So this is just to stick the 2 or 3, whatever amount of styrofoam you use together. What I like about the glue guns is they don't eat away at the styrofoam. So you can easily paste them without damaging the styrofoam. Other glues, especially those with high chemicals in them, they eat away at the styrofoam and they're not going to stick at all. So yeah, it's better just to go with a glue gun. Luckily with glue guns, if you are into DIY, these are super handy and you will use them quite often. At this point, you can just cut off the edge on the side. I found that when icing the top of the cake, it just looks better if this is not a sharp edge. So for the testers I did before this video, I did the tops first, which I realized was a mistake. I would suggest start with the bases. That way you know that's done. If you want to skip the base and keep it white, you can do that too. Or if you just want to paint it, you can do that too. But yeah, for mine, I would like them to have icing at the bottom too, so that should you pick them up or whatever, they look nice on both sides. So yeah, I would suggest doing the bottoms first in a very thin layer, just so that it coats the whole styrofoam and just the edges, so that when you do the top, the 2 edges can meet and you won't see any more of the white styrofoam anymore. So this is the batch of pink fake icing I mixed for the testers. So I have a little bit left, so I thought let me show you the bottoms and then we can do the tops after this. So basically all I do is I just, like a normal cake, you just spread it everywhere. So it is the next morning and this is what they look like. They're both fairly dry, so nothing comes off. It is a bit cold to the touch, so I know it's not completely set as of yet, but it's set enough so that we can do the top today. So the other ones I did previously, the tops is still not dry, so it just shows that you have to do the bottom first, because the tops can take a really long time to actually dry fully, and then also you don't want to put it like that for another 24 hours or whatever. So always do the bottoms first and then you can do the tops. So we will be doing that now. of the cake. I think it's very important that you work from the picture. That way you just, yeah, it's just easier when you get to this part. So basically, if you can see there, it goes like that. So I just use, this is a broken paintbrush that I have, and that little edge works really well. So what I do is I start with the H from birthday, go all the way to the B, and then do the day at the end. And then I do the happy and I do Harry. That way, if I have the middle, doing the top and the bottom is fairly easy. Otherwise, you might just run out of space. And that is it. So I have listed all these projects in the description down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments down below, or you can send me a direct message if you want to. When you do your cakes, please share your images with me. I would love to see how yours came out. I will be giving one of these away, so check out the description down below to see how you can enter, and I will announce the winner in next week's video. So yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome week, and I'll see you next week.